But today we are here for another very crucial reason. That reason is forceful underage marriage, which is another very terrible incident that's taking place in our midst, and we must resist it. And that's the reason why we have called you this morning, so that we can hear them out. And on the high table, we have from Stefanos Foundation, Dr. Abraham Hassan. Also, who just prayed for us, Reverend Bulus Ibrahim, is also from State Kaduna. Thank you very much. From Giwa local government in Kaduna State, also the uncle of the affected person, Jonathan Yohana. Godiya Musa is the mother of the lady in question. Thank you. We have Benny in our midst. Benny is the one wearing that black thing. Very small but very sound, from Stefanos Foundation. Also, James Dumpling, Community Engagement Officer, is also here with us from Stefanos Foundation. So, it's a quick one we're going to do today. Let me hand over the microphone to Abraham Hassan from Stefanos Foundation to kickstart the event. One more time, put your hands together.
Thank you. Members of the high table, ladies and gentlemen of the press, good morning. I would like to welcome us, all our guests, media reporters, journalists, to this World Press Conference. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. You will recall that the last time we were here in this same hall on the 23rd of January 2024, we were together with leaders of the Ron Mushere and Bulere, together with the Magabul and Piron people. They joined us also with the Secretary General of PIDA, Plateau Indigenous Development Association of Nigeria. We met on the issues of the killings in Plateau State. And today, we are here again, Kaduna State Chapter, and also with me is the head of media and the head of community engagement in Stefanos Foundation. It is with great sadness that we have to call you here again due to the unfortunate and delicate issue. This issue has been rendering innocent girls vulnerable and has received little or no attention from the government. Prominent in northern Nigeria. The essential case is that of a 16-year-old girl, Godiya Musa, who was forcefully married to a Muslim boy using government instrument. We published an article on the 25th of May 2024 to facilitate the release of Godiya. Godiya was abducted and taken to Katsina, thereafter brought back to Kaduna to be married out to a Muslim man named Jamilu Lawa without the consent of her parents. Gentlemen, it should be recalled that Stefanos Foundation vehemently advocated for the release of one Habiba Ishaku, a juvenile Christian girl who was abducted and married out to a Muslim boy in 2016. The marriage of Habiba, the 16-year-old Christian girl, was alleged to have been with the consent of the Emir of Katsina. Ms. Habiba was forcefully married out to one Muslim man named Jamilu Lawal without the consent of her parents, in spite the yearning and pleas for the return of the girl. Now it appears that the name Jamilu Lawal appears to be a generic name, we don't know, for those adopting young girls. Because in Godiya's case, it's Jamilu Lawal, and then in Habiba's case, it's also another Jamilu to her family life. When her daughter was adopted and forcefully married to a Muslim man. This event traumatized the widow mother and rendered her helpless as she resorted to leaving the child behind in Bauchi State for fear of similar occurrences happening to her other daughters. So she had to run away. Similarly, in 2017, a 13-year-old girl, our daddy, was adopted in Gashua, Yobe State. She was in school then in SS1 and was under pressure from a Muslim boy who wanted to marry her. One day after school, she passed out while on an errand, and the next place she woke up was in the Emir Palace of Gashua. The Emir at that time was among those running a cartel of giving out girls into marriage. The case went viral as Stefanos made public the attempt of kidnapping and marrying off the girl, and within 3 days, she was released. Although Hawa's father died after suffering persecution as a Christian, the young girl, Hawa, was Christian. The widow and her deceased husband has a son, a 7-year-old boy. And upon the demise of her husband, one of the husband's brother, who is a Muslim, forcefully took custody of her son against the wish of both the widow and her son. The deceased brother, who forcefully took custody of the child, died, but as a result, the deceased brother, who forcefully took custody of the child, died. But as though it was not enough, another brother laid claim to the ownership and custody of the child, also against the wishes of the widow and the child. There was also another case in Kano of Ikenna Akuwezi, whose wife and children were taken away from him because he refused to be converted to Islam. Currently, Ikenna is traumatized and cannot go back to his business in Kano because his life is under threat after taking his wife and children. They are both stories prove that the molestation is not limited to Godiya Musa, as many other unreported cases of molestation of this nature abound in northern Nigeria. The continuous abuse, abduction, and molestation, and forceful conversion and marrying of adolescent Christian girls in northern Nigeria of this country is appalling. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, the perpetrators of these vices have always acted with impunity under the guise of the Islamic religion to crumble the prospect of our would-be leaders of our dear country. Since the emergence of the Muslim ticket, the existing tension has aggravated, and northern Christians are facing serious issues. Nigeria is aspired to a secular nation. It is imperative that the government intervene to cushion and even abate the rapidly growing adoption and forceful conversion of teenage Christian girls. The Nigerian Constitution which is the fountain of all laws and customs, guarantees the right of every citizen to practice any religion of their choice. It is, however, sad that some Muslims in northern Nigeria have brazenly threatened this holy provision of the Constitution with disdain. Stefanos Foundation is here to paint this situation to the entire world for timely intervention. We call upon the government, security agencies, and law enforcement agencies to ensure the protection and emancipation of young Christian girls in northern Nigeria, as the liberty and guarantee right of these girls will promote gender inclusiveness, education, and consequently bring about a sane Nigeria. We also desire the need to investigate thoroughly and unmask whatever is behind the abduction of Godiya Musa. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless us all.
Okay, thank you very much for that speech. We're going to have another brief remarks from the uncle.
My name is Jonathan. My name is Jonathan Yohana from Godiya local government, uncle of Godiya Musa. So I want to brief what happened from the beginning to the end of the problem. So one of the problem we face in Godiya local government area of Kaduna State is the abductions of young Christians girls, possibly marriage and conversions into Islam. So this is our story. On the 13th of April 2024, our 17 years old daughter Godiya woke up at about 5 a.m. to ensure herself and never returning. When we are alarmed and reported to the matter to the district head and the police in that order. So prior of this incident, we have been since a Muslim boy named Jamil Lawal with our daughter, and we were both accepted responsibility for the pregnancies, claiming it was all in bid to get married to her. So Godiya, however, lost the pregnancies. The saga was over, but that morning in April 2024 was a shock to us. The police asked us to pay the sum of 20,000 naira in order to track Godiya home, and we obligated. It was then discovered that Godiya had a conversations with one police officer named Harisu and two other people, officer in your local government. So Harisu claimed that Godiya had told him about her intentions to run away from her family. So as to be with her, supposed lower because her family had constantly refused their union. After further investigations, the police found out Godiya was abducted and was at the Emir Palace in Katsina. So the same Jamil Lawan from Giwa was suspected to be responsible for her disappearance. This is evidenced by her returning to his house and subsequent marriage to Jamilu Lawan. The police promised us that Godiya will soon be returning to us, but till now she has not returned home and is living with Jamilu Lawan. We also look the matter to the district head with local government official and Islamic clerks in attendance in this meeting. The matter was not resolved as the Islamic officials. Instead, that the girl is now a Muslim and is a property of Islam. The case was then adjourned for a later date, and the girl was moving to stay with a neutral party. We were later invited for another meeting with the local government official with Godiya Musa was offering money, which she refused presently. We have heard that Godiya was being returned with Jamilu and is living with him up to now. This is a painful situation for us because this story is not unique to us, but is crime of several families in our community and northern Nigeria. These situations is heartbreaking as we have invested heavily in our daughter and her educations, hoping that one day Godiya will amount to be something in her life. So we cry and calling on the government and police to embed in these situations in the following ways. One, we want the government, international and national organizations to ensure our daughter Godiya is given to us. Two, we are also calling on the government and the legislature to come up with separating against such improvements on our rights and citizens of this great country. Lastly, we want to be perpetrators of adoptions and peaceful conventions to be brought to book. Thanks.
Thank you. The uncle to Godiya was explaining everything to us. Let's another very brief. The very is underlined. Very brief comment from our reverend. Go ahead.
I greet us all in Jesus' name. I welcome all our fathers that are here, and then the Stefanos Foundation. Likewise, the men of the press. I am standing for the camp chairman and I state my name. So I will Prince Ibrahim. Yes. Nigeria is a multi-ethnic and multi-religious state. The major religion in this country is Christianity and Islam. Islam predominantly situated in the northwestern and the northeastern part of the country. On the other hand, we have Christianity predominantly in the southeastern and the southern, and the south-south geographical regions. The southwest and the north-central zones comprises of federal capital, have reasonable balanced number of Muslims and Christians, except for that of Benue State, which is mostly composed of Christians and the followers of ATR. It is a known fact that Christian communities in the northern part of the country are experiencing a great deal of threat to life and also to the performance of their religious beliefs. Nigeria is a nation believed in the rule of law and are free to association. The Constitution and other laws and policies generally protect religious freedom. The Constitution mandates that the government shall not adopt any religion as a state religion. The country has 36 states and the federal capital. The cornerstone of religion freedom in Nigeria lies in Section 38 of the Constitution, which provides that every person shall be entitled to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, including freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom either alone or in community with others, and even in the public. So every person is entitled to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, including freedom of change his or her religious belief, and freedom to manifest and propagate his or her religious belief in worship, teaching, practice, observance, so up to 18 years of age. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria spells that clearly, as it enshrines in it. Child Rights Act, which we are much more familiar with it. The Child Rights Act prohibits both the marriage of those considered to be children and the betrothal of children in relation to child marriages, considered in Part 2, subsection Section 22, which prohibit the betrothal of children. Maintain that no parent, guardian, or any person shall betroth a child to any person. Contravention of either Section 21, 22 amounts to a fine of 500 and imprisonment. While the CRA imposes sanction on the child marriages and betrothal, the use of the conjunction "or" is worrisome because there is an indication that those who partake in child marriages and in turn contravene the CRA, may escape jail by only paying a stipulated fine of 500,000 naira. However, the option to pay a fine for a year of freedom and also free association as a bona fide citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Our town office, Kaduna, report that such cases happened in Ikara, Makarfi, and even Soba local government, where a daughter of another Christian family from the Hekan extraction was also taken, and the same thing happened. Permit me to share my own little view. My daughter was also taken, but then her own was kidnapped at the age of 13 years old in the year 2021. All attempts for her release proved abortive since I couldn't raise the ransom on time. On the day the ransom was paid, she was raped by those who took her, and you can't imagine what I passed through on that very day. One fateful morning when we were having our devotions in the morning, my daughter blessed said, "Daddy, I forgive those people. I forgive those people." And I say, "Glory be to Jesus." That is the teachings of Jesus. Threats to life and conversion. Here in the northern part of the country, despite the positions of the Constitution, Section 38 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, has given everyone the right to freedom of thought and the freedom to change of religion or his religious belief to anyone above the age of 18. But the reverse is the case in the northern part of this country. Thank God for social media. If not, a lot would have been happening around us without even knowing. For the sake of peace and unity and understanding, the Christian religion is a religion who embraces all without any form of discrimination or being biased. The teachings of Jesus Christ do not permit us to take human lives. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 43 to 45, Jesus told us to love our enemies and even pray for those who persecute us, that we may be children of our Father. Likewise, in the book of Luke chapter 6, verse 27 to 28, Jesus said, but I tell you who fear me, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you. In Romans chapter 12, verse 20, to the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. For by so doing, you will heap burning coals on his head. Here is where the grace of God is reflected. All that Christ was saying is that we should be like him. Christ required that we be kind and compassionate to each other, even in this violence perverse generation. We can take that in Ephesians 4:32. The comforting word to many Christians passing through this kind of difficulty today is to know the glory of that shall be revealed to us on that very last day. That is to say, the glory shall be great. Some of our Muslims counterpart, we will at all times be living in crisis. But that is not the teachings of Christ. Christian leaders in Kaduna State want to advise all good, loving people of the state that we will encourage our people to be law-abiding citizens of the country by not taking laws. He took his time when he came to office and go around, even part of the southern Kaduna. And sincerely we are praying for him to succeed because he's running an inclusive government. And we are so happy with what Obasani is doing. He listened to the yearning of the people in the state and he is working assiduously to ensure that there is religious tolerance even in the state. And we hope he look into this very matter. This is our prayer because we are praying for him to succeed. His tenure is a blessing to us. We are also raising our voices and thanking the GNI for some future occurrences. Christian leadership in Kaduna State stands for peace and harmony. I remain Reverend Bulus Ibrahim Dabu, standing in for the chairman of CAN Kaduna State, Reverend Khaled Bawa Machi, CAN Kaduna State. May the Lord bless all of us. May the Lord bless Nigeria. May the Lord bless Kaduna State and all that are here. Thank you. May God bless us.
To ne da abin da nake so a yi min da taimakon Ubangiji da taimakon yadda yarinya ta za ta dawo. Tunda ni dai na san dai na dawo unguwa wani mutuwa da aka yi. Gari ya kusa wayewa ya ta ce mama za ni da wuce. Lafiya ban kare gani. Sai dai ji na yi tana katsina waye kai. Sai na bibiya aka ce a yi cikiya, a bada cikiya ko an ɗauke ta domin mu yanki mu ba lafiya. Aka duba ba yarinya ya dace ne kawai an ɗauke ta. An kai ta har musulunta da ita, an aure da ita, ji ban sani ba. To ni dai abin da nake so da taimakon Ubangiji da taimakon ku a taimaka min dai da addu'o'i kuma yadda yarinya nan za ta dawo. Abin da nake so.
Then you translate.
Okay. All I want is for my daughter to come back to me. And through your prayers and your support, I'm sure that will be possible. Not what my mother has said.
Thank you. I've heard from Godiya's mother, from Khan, from Stefanos, and from beyond. If we have a Christian, one or two, let's have it before we disperse. Any question from anyone? Okay, that means, okay.
Mine is a comment, not a question.
Okay, a comment from Reverend. Okay, just make it brief.
Thank you very much, Stefanos Foundation and gentlemen of the press. My name is Reverend James Mann, pastor of Faith City Church in Jos. I just want to make 3 brief comments on this matter. I feel hurt about the abduction of Godiya. It's one abduction too many. There are laws in this country. There are differences between Christian marriage and Muslim marriage. So-called conversion of Christians is not in Christian doctrine. In Christianity, there is a doctrine of the security of the believer. That's one. If a Muslim wants to marry a Christian girl, she does not have to convert. Let her just be of age according to the laws of Nigeria. There are many successful marriages between Muslim men and Christian girls. Please, let our brethren who are Muslims just stay within the law. Lastly, as a comment, I urge Stefanos Foundation to liaise with our legislators in the National Assembly, because marriages is one item that is still on the federal government's exclusive legislative list, so that a law is put in place to regulate the marriage of Christians and Muslims. Nobody said it cannot take place, but let it be done properly. Thank you very much.
Marriage be done the way it's supposed to be done. Okay, we're about to close down. Let Ben give us a closing report.
Okay. Thank you very much all for honoring this beautiful invite. We hope that you have all picked out something from our presentations. Stefanos Foundation is not happy with everything that is happening, especially to the Christian girls, since it has been ongoing and it has not stopped till now. I think from 2016 till 2024, despite the Beijing Women Conference that has been hosted and agreed that there should be a consideration for the girl child, but nothing has been going on in Nigeria as regards that. We hope that these papers that have been presented will bring help to the organization, not just to the organization and to those affected, and the perpetrators be brought to book. Just like it has been said, the legislators should look into this and a bill should be passed so as to help our Christian minor girls in the society. Thank you very much.
Or is it about young girls generally being forced into marriage? Because I do know that even Muslim girls too are being forced into marriage against their own will, and probably the parents may not even have a say in what happens. I don't know if it is their religion that allows, or I don't think there's any religion that allows forceful marriage. That's the position of the Stefanos Foundation. Is it just about Christian, so your fight or your campaign about Christian girls or girls generally to that position?
Yeah, let's Stefanos Foundation, Mr. Abraham, to give us that answer.
Yes. Well, we came up today regarding one special case. But generally, Stefanos have been campaigning against marriage, forceful marriage of underage girls. Whether you are a Christian or a Muslim, I believe that we first exist as human beings before we take on to any religion. of our choice. And we are first Nigerians and protected by Nigerian Constitution before we say we are Muslims, Christians, and all of that. So we are pointing to the fact that this situation is very ugly and is happening and spreading like a virus. And if deliberate actions are not taken now, is going to consume us.